In the opening scene, we see Pep, the trusty elf of Cassie, the only daughter of Santa Claus in their home. She goes about her morning routine with the hope that Cassie will be in a good mood that morning. As she serves Cassie breakfast, she meets her still under her blanket, not willing to do anything. Pep reminds her of her itinerary that day, including meeting with her father, to learn everything about the family's business. But Cassie is not enthusiastic about all those. Next, Cassie begins her day at the workshop, taking photographs and signing autographs. Meanwhile, her father, Santa Claus, is busy with business. He is swarmed by his workers and runs his company like a conglomerate. Cassie feels like she should be on vacation instead of being taught the family business. She wants to see the world. Not willing to give in to her wish, Santa excuses himself and reminds her of the Tooth Fairy banquet that night, emphasizing that the Tooth Fairy is their ally and they must socialize. However, Cassie believes people prefer her father, not Santa Girl. Later that night, Cassie is hesitant about going to the Tooth Fairy banquet. Her trusty elf gives her a letter, which is from a university in the real world. This is a huge shock for her and she starts to panic. She had applied to the university to experience the real world and surprisingly she got in. She celebrates with Pep. The prospect of being in a new place and meeting new people makes her excited. Unfortunately, there is one problem: getting her father's approval. At the banquet, Santa feels out of place. Larry, the son of the Tooth Fairy, sees him and introduces himself excitedly. Soon enough, he proposes a business merger with Santa. He also hints that since Santa lost his wife, his mother is single and ready to mingle. However, Santa stops talking upon the mention of his late wife. The loss of his wife has dealt him a heavy blow and his life has never remained the same ever since. Larry mentions thinking he is open to powerful families uniting, since he wants his daughter Cassie to marry Jack Frost's son. Not pleased with the conversation, Santa walks away and he spots his daughter. Upon meeting Cassie, he suspects that something is off about her, even as Cassie tries feigning ignorance. She seems to be hiding something. Eventually, she tells him the truth. Santa wonders why she will ever want to leave the North Pole. She points out that she doesn't have friends and freedom. Santa reminds her of her duty to the family, including marrying Jack Jr., the Frost Boy, whom she has been betrothed to since she was 3 days old. Naturally, Cassie finds it weird marrying someone she has never seen. Cassie pleads to have some independence and adventure before settling for the life that has been chosen for her, but her father walks away. The next morning at home, Santa reminds Cassie that family business is important. This is because without the merger with the Frost family, several children will be disappointed during Christmas. After ensuring that she agrees to the long-standing plan, he approves for her to study for a semester in the real world. However, she has to be back in time for Christmas to marry the Frost Boy and take over the family business. Cassie is excited that her wish has finally come true. She prepares enthusiastically and nervously at the same time. Meanwhile, Jack Frost is angry to hear of the latest development. He thinks Santa wants to breach their agreement, but Santa assures him that Cassie going to college will not change anything. Santa reminds him that his son has also been going away to school for years now, but in his defense, Jack says his son is at an all-boys school and not a college filled with parties, like the one Cassie is going to. He fears that she may refuse to come back, but Santa reassures him that their merger is secure. Seeing that Santa won't change his daughter's mind, Jack promises to keep an eye on Cassie as he leaves. Afterward, Santa calls in Pep, Cassie's elf assistant, and entrusts her with the mission of going along with Cassie as her roommate. Santa wants her to keep an eye on Cassie as she has never been on her own before. Cassie initially objects but has no choice but to accept. In the next scene, Santa accompanies Cassie and Pep on her first day. He is not pleased to see several naughty kids in Cassie's hostel. When the elves bring in all their bags, the students are so surprised to see that amount of luggage for just one student. Santa explains that though she thinks he is being overly protective, he is doing so because she is special. He advises her not to let anyone know the real her so she can fit in easily. He gives her some money for emergencies only before leaving. Then, right there in the hallway, with a student present, he disappears. The student can't believe his eyes. Meanwhile, Pep had set up their room in a Christmas-themed way. This is not pleasing to Cassie and she reminds her that it was her father that insisted on her being there, and not her. Seeing that this hurts her feelings, Cassie tells her that she just wants to have a normal college experience, and does not want anything extra from Pep. She also stops Pep from calling her Miss Cassie, urging her to just act like her little sister. Cassie and Pep walk through the school field and they are excited to see humans go about their life contentedly, and without magic. Suddenly a frisbee hit her in the face and she falls flat on her back. A guy arrives to help her up and apologizes for the incident. He introduces himself as JR and Cassie also introduces herself and Pep. Pep is so excited to see such a handsome boy. Upon finding out her surname is Claus, JR asks if it is related to Santa Claus, but Cassie denies it. Suddenly, Cassie is nervous and tells him that it is her first time away from home. After Cassie mentions that she is going to the bookstore, JR says he's heading there as well. Seeing that Pep is over-enthusiastic, Cassie sends her to get her a jacket. She and JR then leave without her. JR tells her that he just moved back to the States from Switzerland. She lets him know that she has never been anywhere else and he doesn't believe her. She talks about how she loves meeting new friends and being in a new place. Then, JR tells her that she is his first friend in college. Suddenly, they see a guy having issues paying for his books at the cashier. He's in dire need of the books, but his card is declined. JR brings out his wallet, but suddenly Cassie runs to help the guy out of his dilemma. This surprises JR, the guy, and the cashier. After getting the needed books, JR asks Cassie to be his date. This surprises Cassie since they have just met. Upon getting back home that night, Pep is not happy she tricked her. She thought she had lost Santa's daughter, which made her afraid that Santa will put her on naughty list. Cassie apologizes after seeing Pep's distress, but she insists she does not need a babysitter. Pep reluctantly agrees to give her some space. After hearing of how Cassie's day went with JR, Pep expresses mixed feelings on the matter since Cassie is engaged. On her first day at school, Cassie is very nervous and is still fascinated by the real human world. So, while trying to blend in, she pays for people at the cafeteria to get anything they want. It's her way of trying to make friends. Meanwhile, the lecturer has called her name in the attendance and she is not yet in class. But when she hears her name being called, she teleports right into class, just in time to answer. The same student who saw her father disappear the other day is the one beside her again. This is yet another weird experience for him. Blending is hard for Cassie due to her lack of experience. Even during lunch, the girl she sits with is shocked to see her lunch filled with cupcakes and baked goods. Similarly, she is surprised to see a phone. In the next scene, she sits alone and the boy she paid the books for sees her. His name is Sam and he has been searching for her ever since then, to thank her for the kind gesture. He is surprised by what she did, but Cassie naively thinks anyone would have done the same. He then promises to pay her back. Cassie goes ahead to ask him a surprising question about phones. Sam is shocked that in such a modern age, there is still someone who doesn't know about phones and the internet. Cassie goes ahead to tell him that her dad still writes with scrolls and parchments. Though it sounds weird to Sam, he is quite fascinated by her uniqueness. Just then, JR calls out to her but is surprised to see her speaking with Sam. Cassie introduces them. JR asks Cassie to be his date to a party that night. However, Cassie is surprised that the time of the party is so late in the evening. She initially rejects the offer, but JR lets her know that if she wants to meet people, then she has to go to parties. So, she agrees. Later that night, at JR's place, while he is dressing up, there is a sudden change in the environment. Then his father, Jack Frost, appears. JR is not pleased with him always choosing to show up unannounced. Apparently, JR is on campus based on his father's command. He has been tasked to come to the same campus as Cassie, so that he can ensure that she marries him. JR tells him that he is acting on the plan, but his father questions why Sam is getting close to Cassie. This surprises JR because he did not know his father had someone keeping a close tab on Cassie. JR tells him that Sam is a nobody. He even rejects his father's offer to have Sam removed from campus. Even as Sam tries to convince his father that he is up to the task, his father lets him know that he doubts his capabilities and is not confident in him carrying out the task seamlessly. This hurts Sam's emotions deeply. Still, his father assures him that he will visit regularly because he likes keeping an eye on his investment. Meanwhile, Cassie dresses up for the party. Pep is convinced that this is a date and her dad must not find out that she is going out with another boy when she is engaged. Cassie assures her that it is just a party and nothing more. On the way to the party, Cassie is nervous and tells JR this is her first party in the real world. He calms her down and assures her that they are just kids, seeing that there seems to be a force of attraction between them. Cassie tells him that she is engaged back at home, and they cannot be more than friends. JR says he understands and mentions that the guy is lucky. At the party, Cassie mingles with some friends and she enjoys their company. When they see that she knows JR, they are surprised and ask how they met. They have heard that his parents are super rich, but Cassie is not aware of any of that. JR gets her a drink and a girl tells him that Cassie has no idea that he is rich. However, Cassie takes a big gulp from the drink thinking it is soda, but she realizes that it is a different drink with a strange taste, so she spits out the drink on the girl. The drink is vodka and she has never tasted it. Embarrassed, Cassie steps out of the party. However, Sam runs into her on his way from the library. She explains the situation to him and how embarrassed she is. Sam jokingly suggests she quits school or she hangs out with him. JR sees the two again. He tells Cassie he has calmed the girl down so she has nothing to worry about. Sam leaves after JR tells him that he can't come in because it's a private party. But before leaving he tells JR not to spike Cassie's drink. JR feels worried about Sam's meetings with Cassie because he knows what his father can do. While Sam is walking that night, Jack Frost appears before him. He is shocked to see how the environment changed, with snow appearing in August. Jack reveals so many personal details about Sam, including him working minimum wage to pay tuition and being friends with Cassie. He offers him a job, but Sam rejects the offer. Also, he is curious to know how a stranger can know so many things about him. Jack explains how Cassie has never been out on her own alone, and he would like her father to know that someone is keeping an eye on her. Sam rejects the offer, but Jack says he just wants him to be her friend and not a spy. He offers him $500. JR walks Cassie home, and as they talk, things get intense between them. But just before they want to lock their lips, Pep appears and distracts them. She asks about the party and suggests that Cassie go to bed. Next scene, Cassie goes to the cafeteria and Sam meets her there. He gives her the money she paid for his books, with interest. Then he offers to help her with a subject that she is finding difficult. At the park, Cassie finds it interesting that he is so smart. Sam tells her she knows nothing about him, while pointing out that she is so mysterious. He suggests that they get to know more about each other by answering personal questions in turn. Cassie starts first. She asks why he wants to be a lawyer. He shares that his parents ditched him when he was little and this led him to foster care. However, when he got into trouble, a kind lawyer woman helped him without thinking about getting paid. This motivated him to help kids who have nobody in their life. Sam asks about her family and she answers without revealing too much. According to Cassie, her mom passed away when she was little, and his dad became obsessed with his business after the incident. Sam understands that losing someone dear can change people. They agree to meet up at the same place the next day. Sam then assures her that he will woo her till she develops feelings for him. However, she believes that is not possible. It's now 90 days before Christmas. Cassie and Sam are in the library and it seems they have grown closer than ever. Also, Cassie has not changed her habit of suddenly teleporting in class. Her seatmate seems to be getting used to it, as she always buys him his favorite drink. At the same time, Cassie still goes to parties with JR, and the girls are jealous of how close she is to him. Being a rich kid, they wish he was with them instead. Cassie is living the life she has always dreamed of. One night, while hanging out with Sam, he asks if she is dating JR, so she clarifies that she is not. Then he asks if she will date him instead. Cassie does not answer the question. The night is chilly, so Sam gives her his sweater and says it's the best thing he owns, so she has to return it. However, Cassie insists on keeping it. During Halloween, Pep decorates the room. Cassie goes to a Halloween party with JR, but this time, Sam is also at the party. Sadly, he is heartbroken after seeing Cassie having fun with JR, and he walks out of the party. Cassie later sees him as he is going out the door and feels guilty. Next scene, at their usual meeting spot, Cassie joyfully runs to inform Sam that she aced the midterm test. Sam is glad she is doing great, and he tells her that his job with her is done. Cassie didn't anticipate this, so she is hurt. Sam reminds her that he is human and has feelings. However, Cassie does not seem to understand what is wrong. Sam then tells her that he has feelings for her, but he believes she has feelings for JR. Baffled, Cassie reveals that she does not have any romantic feelings for JR, and they are just hanging out as friends, nothing more. However, she also reveals she can't date Sam, because she is engaged. Sam asks who she is engaged with, but he starts walking away when Cassie refuses to elaborate further. Cassie does not want their friendship to end, so she runs after him to tell him about her being engaged to someone she has never met, all for a family business merger. This comes as a shock to Sam. He can't believe that there is still something like an arranged marriage. Suddenly, Cassie kisses him. Caught up in her feelings, Cassie reveals that she is from the North Pole, but she is not supposed to tell him anything about her. She tells him that she is the daughter of Santa, but Sam finds this hard to believe. He thinks she is just saying weird stuff because she does not like him. He walks off angrily. That night, while Pep is taking a stroll on campus, she is surprised to see Jack Frost. She calls after him to introduce herself, because she saw him at Santa's office, but Jack runs away and hides till she leaves. While Sam is reading at the library, Jack suddenly appears, which scares him. He reports to him that Cassie aced her calculus midterm and there's nothing more. But Jack is not satisfied with that. He threatens to reveal to Cassie that Sam was paid to keep an eye on her. This makes Sam reveal more info about Cassie, including always hanging out with JR and being engaged in an arranged marriage. But Sam expresses his doubt with what Cassie told him, regarding being the daughter of Santa Claus. Jack is shocked to hear that Cassie has said so many things. However, he is happy that he did not believe her, adding that it's unlikely anyone will. He lets out a weird laugh, so Sam advises him to socialize with people more. Suddenly, Jack's countenance changes and he disappears, leaving some money for Sam as agreed. Next scene, Cassie and Pep walk around campus. But people have started talking about Pep, calling her a freak because of her elf ears. They all seem to stare at a picture on their phone. Cassie is so angry at the way they are talking about Pep, but she has no idea of why this is happening all of a sudden. Then, JR meets them and shows Cassie a picture Sam posted on the internet. The picture is that of Cassie with a quote of her claiming that her dad is Santa. There is another video of Cassie and Pep dancing in Christmas clothes. Cassie is heartbroken and does not understand why Sam would do such a thing. After telling JR that they fought, he speculates that the fight might be the reason why Sam did it. He lets her know that though she trusts that he will do no such thing, people aren't what they seem to be. At that moment, Sam knocks on her door. Pep answers and confronts him about what he did angrily. Cassie interjects and walks out with Sam. She expresses her dissatisfaction with how he chose to let out her secret because he is the only one that knows. Sam claims that he is not responsible for the pictures and videos. Sam is confused even more when he remembers that he told only one other person. Before he could talk further, JR comes out and accuses him of lying. Then, Cassie tells him that she no longer wants to be friends with him. Sam assures her that everything will soon blow over. It's now 21 days before Christmas. Cassie feels withdrawn after the falling out with Sam. Meanwhile, Sam is also not feeling like himself. One day, Cassie is waiting to meet Sam even though she is still upset with him. He claims his innocence and tells her he knows the person who might have put her picture on the internet. He explains his meeting with an old man, who claims to work with her, revealing that he accepted payment from said man. Cassie gets angrier knowing he accepted a payment to spy on her. She walks away, declining to go to the winter formal with him. Even when he says they will go as friends, she reveals she is going with JR instead. He convinces her that JR is not the guy for her, but she does not want to hear anything more from him. Pep overhears their conversation and realizes that Sam likes her. So, she visits Sam and tells him that she is Cassie's elf, assigned by Santa himself. Pep tells him she believes him. She asks him about the mysterious man he met and realizes from the description that he is talking about Jack Frost. After seeing him the other night, she had her doubts, but now she is convinced that Jack Frost is in the campus. Sam is still already struggling to believe Cassie, and now he is being told another fictional character is real. Pep tells him to keep an open mind. She also advises him to tell Cassie if he likes her. The night of the winter formal occurs 10 days before Christmas. We see Cassie and JR dancing as others look at them in amazement. They are surprised he is dancing with the weird girl, who is dancing so well. Cassie commends his dancing skills, and after he tells her of all the numerous lessons he had been taking all his life, she says his father must be so proud of him. JR feels a little sad because he knows his father has never been proud of him. He tells Cassie that soon his father will be proud of him. He also tells her that there is something she must know. Meanwhile, Pep and Sam are running to make it to the party in time. Back at the party, JR reveals that he is the person she is to marry, and he has gotten to know her over the period they have met. Aside from it being their responsibility, he has grown to like her and looks forward to spending the rest of his life with her. Then he kneels as he proposes to her. Suddenly, Sam and Pep interrupt the proposal. They reveal that the man that has been paying Sam is Jack Frost, who happens to be JR's father. Sam accuses him of setting him up and tells Cassie she deserves better. JR and Sam get into a fight as the others watch and film them. However, Cassie stops them. JR confesses to Cassie that he didn't post her pictures, but admits his father is capable of doing that. Cassie suddenly realizes that she can't fit into the real world and her father needs her. Sam reminds her that what she needs is also important, but she says it's not, and she tells JR to ask her to marry him. He asks and she says yes. Sam walks away feeling defeated. It's the official wedding day and Cassie is back at home. She dresses up, but it's evident that she is not happy about the whole thing. She is just doing this out of obligation and nothing more. Her father also reminds her that she is doing it for the family business. She remembers Sam and gets emotional. She even tells her dad that he might have liked him. Meanwhile, Pep is now famous for going to the real world. The other elves want to know all about her experience. Suddenly, Santa tells Pep that she is in charge for the time being because he needs to go somewhere, and he will be back before it's time for the wedding. Back in the real world, Santa appears before Sam while he decorates his Christmas tree. Santa introduces himself as Cassie's father. He also tells him that he thinks he has made a mistake by betrothing Sam to Jack Frost's son. He is impressed that Sam has never been on the naughty list. Then, Santa takes him for a ride. Meanwhile, back at the party, Jack Frost is beginning to feel uneasy about the delay. Pep informs him that Santa is busy and will join them soon. Then, she meets Cassie, who is also worried about her father's whereabouts. Suddenly, Jack Frost barges in, demanding that the wedding commence according to the contract, even with the absence of Santa. Jack reminds them of the consequence of breaking the contract. Scared, Cassie agrees to proceed without her father. Santa gives Sam the marriage contract, since Cassie says he is studying law. He wants Sam to find loopholes in the contract on their way to the North Pole. Back at the wedding, Cassie walks down the aisle to meet with JR and the minister elf, and commence the marriage rite. JR is anxious. Suddenly Cassie speaks out, stating that they do not love each other and can't be wedded. Jack is petrified. His plan seems to be falling apart. Santa also walks in to stop the wedding and he is proud that Cassie already did. She is so happy to see Sam with him. Sam is surprised to be surrounded by the people he has always thought to be fictional. Then, they both confess their love for each other and kiss. Jack Frost angrily tells Santa that they have a contract, but Santa tells him to talk to his lawyer because Jack is the one who broke the terms of the contract. With his knowledge in law, Sam reveals that spying on Cassie for the last 6 months and spreading rumors about her in school is a breach of contract. Santa then announces that the marriage is off and the whole contract has been a mistake. Jack Frost believes Santa won't survive without his help, but Santa lets him know that he is going to revert to the old-fashioned way of delivering presents to the kids, without the intention of profiting from it. He is ready to start living the way he used to once more. Santa then assures Cassie that she can choose who she wants to marry. Cassie apologizes to JR, but she realizes that he has been following his father's orders and is not yet ready for marriage. Jack angrily tells Cassie she will regret her actions, so she makes him fall face down on the cake and everyone laughs at him. Santa looks at Cassie and Sam and sees how in love the pair are. He is happy to see her happy again. Meanwhile, a woman offers Santa some cookies and he seems to have taken a liking to her right away. Sam asks Cassie to be his girlfriend and she says yes. Santa also asks Sam to stay with them for Christmas while he goes about delivering the Christmas presents the old-fashioned way. The film ends with Sam and Cassie starting their relationship with a lovely kiss.